So this is the next part of making D12 and E38 carriages for trains in Gmax, and having tried D12 in the in trains itself, and I found there was a number of problems, or several problems, one of which was that this ducket, it needs moving over to the left, or rather it's the texture. So I'm just going to collapse it all, and then we'll unwrap that, and we'll make sure we have the texture correction turned on, and edit. And it's counterintuitive because basically what we've got to do is to move it to the left, but what we do is we move it to the right because this is picking up too much of this texture here. So let's try that a little bit first. Beginning to get there. Just nudge it a little more. I think it's actually a fraction too wide, so I'm going to zoom in and just reduce the amount of texture which is being painted onto the it's the wrong way. Back a little bit, I think we're right there, and then I just need to move it over. Tag more. And also feel it's a little long this way. That should be horizontal, should be in line. Still not convinced I'm right now. But anyway, what I think I'll do is I'll flip this side to side and see if that will help me. No, I don't think it will. I think I've got the right width, but if I go too far this way, I'll bring in the next bit of texture. No, I am right. No, that's okay. So, and now it's just the vertical. Just a tad. Oops, no, the other way. And actually, because that is straight line running into straight line, I can do this a little bit more. And a little bit more. A bit too much. Still a bit high. It's still high here, and you can also see that here it's not right. And we're going the wrong way. I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. I'm going to leave it with that. Not chance anything else. Okay, so let's turn texture correction on here. Let's save that before I do anything else. There's nothing like losing what you've just done. Save as, and D12 version 3.1, so we'll save it as 3.2. Yes, please. Okay, and the other minor amendment that I need to do is just to move the lettering out a fraction, and these are set at 4 feet at the moment. Out. There we are. So I'm going to move it out ½ inch. and do these two here on this side. Point helper. Come along. Picking it up is a nuisance. Can I even see it? There it is. Yep. Collapse all. Make it into a poly. I should have done that already. Bringing it out 1/2 inch, and this one should be easy to see. There it is, pink one. And collapse all, and again, editable poly, and 1/2 inch out, and unclick. Let's have a look at it. Smooth and highlights. Yep. That's a bit stronger. And we've got that lined up. Good. So another quick look around. Check and recheck. But I think we're there. So let's save that. And save as D12 version 3.1. Yes. And let's export that to obtain the models, trains, find D12 and find the mesh. There it is. Save it as that. Yes, that's okay. Those texture files, they just it's just the config, the texture for TXT files that are overwritten. That would only be an issue if you changed textures. And I've just gone in there to remove that one because that's 38K that we don't need to have in the model. Okay, let's go down. Let's go into tame, manage content, and my content. There we are. And take it down to where it all is. You see I've got a lot of stuff installed, so I'm sure comparatively little compared with some transers who have immense amounts. Show in Explorer, there we are. Type, there it is, that's the one that we're going to copy over. So let's just have a look here. Let's break the editing, take new model, so it's this one, dated today, Christmas Eve. And these are all dated today as well because I've just opened that, but you can see that the night is dated yesterday. Copy. Paste. Yes. Okay, so that should do the trick. So we can close that. Stick that over there. Submit edits. There it is. So hopefully now and we can see the lettering's okay. So there we are, that's that one finished. As far as I'm concerned, that's got to go to my beta tester before I release it. But other than that, I'm quite happy enough with that. And that's got the 8'6" carriage bogies there you can see underneath. Now that's going to form the basis for my next one as well, so I'm going to close this. I need to save it, and I'll just reduce those down. But I may not even need them. So, so what I'm going to do now is use this for my next one, E38. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a quick look. I think what I'm going to do, yes. So first of all, I'm going to save it as E38, and E38 is a compo. It's a I'm trying to remember what sort of compo it is. Let's have a look at the plan. So if we go into trains, projects, models, standard gauge carriages, E38 plan E38, there it is, a compo first third. Oh, that's easy to remember. There it is. And the significance of this one is that this piece here, I mean, it's a conventional compo. We've got three third-class compartments down here, and we've got a third-class lavatory, and then we've got a partition door here to stop the third-class riffraff mixing with the hoi polloi with the top notch of the first class. And they have a gents and ladies lavatory separate, and then they have this smoking saloon, which is very characteristic of the GWR at this period. And then we've got the side corridor doors at each end, and we've got a partition there between the these two compartments, these two first class compartments, and our smoking saloon or salon. But unlike the previous one of D12, the two sides are not identical, although we can use the same texture for them both, because on this side there is a door into the smoking saloon, but on this side there is just this arrangement of a window, and it's the same lining and look as a door. There's the door there, and there's as it were not a fake door, but a sort of a door that isn't on this side. So what I've done is I've made the texture so that it will texture either a door or this piece. In fact, when I come to make the mesh, I will include the door gap on this one and just a window gap on that one, just that piece in there. So that's how I'm going to do it, but using the same texture. So E38 is a let's go back here, is a compo first third, and it's going to be version 1.1. There we are. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in where are we? I'm going to merge the doors from D12. So that's the latest version of the doors are going to be linked in to models. Latest version of the doors is going to be linked in with this model. D12. Now we've got the doors left and doors right, but I want that one, which is both sets of doors. You can just see them there in that window, so I'm going to open those. I'm going to select all, click on OK, and there we are. And that's actually brought in everything, including the animation. So what I've got there is the doors using the textures from D12. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the D12 texture, which will cause chaos on this. That's okay. So I don't mind about that. So I'm going to come down to side. There it is. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to replace it, in fact, with E38. This is now where we're at. E38. Just got to remember that. E38 side TGA. There it is, and it all goes crazy. And then we've got another iteration of side here, which I'm just going to, I think I'm going to delete it. It's the doors. Does it matter? Probably. So I'm going to change that to E38 as well. And the side. Okay, and then we also want to do the clerestory. Clerestory side. That's got to become E38. E38 clerestory side TGA. So that's all jammed, as it were, and then also we've got to do the plans. So the D12 plan has got to be replaced by the E38 chemistry plan, and then the other plan, outline diagram it's called here, for reasons known only to whatever I was on when I was doing that. Coffee. Side plan, there it is. Okay, so that gives, and then I think, although I've got multiple citations, as it were, of these two images, when we export the texture, it's only one, you don't get duplicates. We've got third class seats, which is okay. I'm going to need first class seats. So we've got our first class seats, and let's just choose the texture. That's that nice first class texture. What else have I got here? Have I got first class lettering? I've got let me see, I've got third, what's that? That's the lettering, third lettering, yeah. So if I got a new standard, just call it first, and I want to load in first lettering TGA, there it is. Open. Now I know there's no luggage compartment and there's no guards compartment, so I can take out guard lettering. Just tidies it up a bit. And although it's first class, we're going to use the GWR letters. It's only the ones that are exclusively first class that get the garter crest. What else don't we need? Luggage. So delete that. Get that out of the way. Okay, now the other thing I need to do is to lose. We don't need the loads because there's no luggage, there's no guard. There's certainly going to be a corridor. In fact, there's going to be two corridors, and don't need the lamp because it's not a break. And we've got some seating there. And also I'm going to take out all of these dummies that animate the doors, because I'm going to have to redo those once I've got the doors sorted out in their new place. So I'll select all those and delete. Okay, that's good. And now I'm going to pick up all of the attachment points that I've got in here. It includes 24 passengers. Got to group them up, and I call it attachment points. Okay, and let's hide that away. Now, so there we are. That's the beginnings of what I'm going to be doing. So my next step is to eliminate the side, because it's not going to be there. It's not that side, and also the clerestory. I'm leaving the glass, it doesn't really matter. And I was just checking on the lavatory glazing there and making sure I'm leaving the doors, because I'm going to use those. And also what I can do, of course, is lose the ducats, because this is not a guard brake, so they can come out. So let's just remove those. I'll get the rest of them, and I'm going to get them on the other side, on the other viewpoint. And if I go to back, and lose that, and you'll see it's already becoming a bit of a skeleton, but there's a number of things here which I want to use. View front, and give us a pruned down version of the carriage, but the underframe is already okay. I've got some compartment bits and pieces there, doors in the wrong place, but that's fine. And the next thing to do is to recreate or redo, or to make rather new meshes. So I'm going to make a plane 56 feet by 6'3", and I shall reduce the number of segments there, although it doesn't really make much difference. But what I will do is center it and make sure it's in the correct place here. And set it at 26 feet. Not that it makes any difference. And let's have a look up here. Okay, my normal way is to move it. Which way is going to be the best way back? Okay, and then I want to put the outline diagram on it. And if we zoom in there, we have a look here, and zoom in, and we see the outline. And on this one here, let's have a look. Which one do I want? That one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So it's a lavatory and then 2 doors. We've got 3 close together. Let's have a look. We've got lavatory and 2 doors, and we should have 3, 1, 2, 3 close together there. So over here, what I've done is I put in the door, but when I haven't got a door there, I should have 1, 2, 3 windows. I'm not allowed for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to change this plan. So let's give it version 2, not a version 2, it's a second copy. And for this I'm going to use Freehand, my cranky old drawing program from Macromedia that goes back to 2002. Come into E38, there it is, and it's this one here. That's the problem. I should have got a window in here, so I'm going to zoom up to my original, just make sure that's the correct one. Yep. See what we've got here. We've got a, so if I pick both of those up, copy, edit, paste in front, pull back a bit, and now jump the copy down to here. And for some reason it's over a bit. Oh no. Oh, I see, it's because we're not positioned there. So let's go down. Let's move it over a tad. There we are. Now I can delete one of those. And then I just simply ungroup. So I haven't brought that down and ungrouped it. I'm now just going to delete the areas, and that's what I need in position there. So let's save that, jump back a bit, and then I haven't found another way of doing this in this old program. Temporarily delete those and export what's left, and export it as the E Compo first, the JPEG side plan. Thank you, and undo delete, and it's already saved, so that's fine. So now I just delete that, close that rather. No, I don't want any of that. And now I take the outline diagram and I reload it. And there we are. I should have both the door and the window. So I need the door for one side and the window, which is a different size to these, on the other. Okay, so now we have the correct plan for our mesh. I can, if necessary, turn the grid off just to make it, they don't come out particularly sharp because I tend to use a hairline in the plans, but it's enough there to give me the information that I need. Let's just close that out of the way to do that. And now I'm going to merge, and this is that incredibly brilliantly named bottom bit. So I just want to bring that in, and it should be there. There it is, and it's the curve. So I'm going to bring that over, and I'm going to move it over here, and also I'm going to take a that's going to be my end, and then I'm going to rotate this one 90 degrees, make sure it's 90 down here, and then track it over. Oops, wrong way. There we are, track it over, and also I need to raise it up a fair bit because it's way down here. So let's have a look where it is. It's over here. Let's raise it up. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to rotate it 180, and I'm just going to bring it over X, please. Over near there. Right, so my routine now is to create the mesh. First of all, what I want to do is to align this right on the edge of my texture there, and then I'm going to make we'll be working in splines, make a rectangle, okay, and that's got to be 56 feet, and center it and position it to make sure it's correctly positioned. There we are, and then zoom in. It's the same colour. Stupid Gmax. Make it a bit yellow. There we are. And then bunch it up. Did I just move the wrong one? Yes, I did. This is the one. So I need to just move that down. Get it precisely over the, there it is. And now I'm going to convert the rectangle to an editable spline, pick up the vertices, and before I do that I'm going to move that over because I need it on the end here, and the y-axis please. I'd already picked up the one to the left there, so when I click back on it, it just kept that selection for me. You just learn what Gmax will do and what it won't do. There we go. Right. also do, I've got another one of those bottom pieces there, so this is where we are at the moment. There's the actual rectangle that I'm working on, there's the plan. So what I want to do is to pick up this piece and this one, underline it with that one, and then I'm trying to save myself some time, and then I just need to rotate it. It's on the y-axis, yeah, 180, and bring that in there. So I'm going to use this as a guide, because it'll be this one here that it's going to get it. Okay, so I've got my rectangular spline. Now I can smooth highlights. Now what I'm going to do is, as I did with D12, I'm going to bring in another rectangle, and I'm going to make that 6 foot by 2 foot. So it doesn't look right, does it? It looks like it's smaller than 6 foot. Should be 6 foot by 2 foot. Oh, that's correct. Just going to have a quick look. Just going to save that. I want a quick look back at my original. Let's have a look at what the... See, this is where these diagrams vary, and sometimes you get, see now the lining appears to be running along the bottom of at the bottom of the door. Have a look down here. That's where the door is going to be. Yeah, I think I'm going to be okay. Turn that off. Might as well save that, I suppose. Anyway, that's what I'm going with. 6 foot by 2 foot, because that's my standard door. What I should do is make that into an editable spline, and this likewise. No, I can save time. Delete that plane. Remember now. So it's better to remember it now, vertex, and I'm going to refine it. I'm going to put in, I'm not even going to refine it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out that segment, and I'll pick up the vertices, I'll just move them up. And that's going to take us into, now. So we've got the amount of wireframe mesh that I need, or the amount of mesh that I need, and then I'll take that over, and again, okay. So these are all single doors, which is fine. Again. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. It's just nice to know you're actually doing what it's meant to be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. and 2 windows there, and then we've got a lavatory there by the looks of it. Yeah, and then after that we're heading for the smoking section. There's another door there. There it is, that's the door with the on one side of the vehicle and not on the other. We're going to make the texture so that it works for both. Okay, so there we are, so let's save that. And let's save it as E38. E38. So I'm sure this is getting familiar to you now, but I'm going to carry on just recording this video right through to the end of the construction of this particular carriage, because I think it's useful to see the ways in which I do things, but also it's .1.575 is better. This corner's a little bit short, it's a little bit tight. But also sometimes, of course, I do things differently, do the same things in a different way. So let's make that an editable spline. Let's make this one an editable spline as well. In fact, what I'll do is I'm zoomed in on this. I'll take this to here and then edit the vertices. So first of all, I've got to bring the top down a tad. Like that, and then this side goes over to the left. So this is the window that replaces the door. Well, it's the door window, the window in the door, but on the other side it just appears as a wider window for our gentleman in the smoking saloon. I presume it was always gentlemen. There never seemed to be any suggestion that ladies would go in there and have a quick fag, a quick draw, sit there with a cigar or something. Maybe with the suffragettes they did. Good on them. Though I don't approve of the smoking, I approve of the equality. Naturally. There we are, so that's going to be, I think that's an actual window in the smoking saloon rather than a lavatory. And that's another thing, of course, because it's going to be two sided. If we look here, with the lavatories, these are ordinary windows. That's a lavatory window, that's a lavatory window, so are those there. But I account for that in the glazing, when I do the glazing. I just give that an opaque texture as opposed to the glass texture. It's interesting as well they didn't throw up in the content manager. I think from 2012, Trains 2012 onwards, it wouldn't accept uniform colour textures. That is, textures comprising just one colour throughout. And the way I got around that was I just put a single pixel of another colour in the corner and never use that corner of the texture, and that seemed to work okay. A bit better. There we are. So here, as you can see, I'm just making up the windows up front. Let's come over a tab there. That looks like another lavatory window. So there's quite a few windows compared to the D12. Obviously that's a long break section, so there are no windows in that. Just the windows in the doors, so that the guard could have some natural light to load and look after the luggage, of which there always seems to have been mountains of stuff being moved by Victorian travellers. Especially, of course, first class, where everything, including the kitchen sink, went with them. I've got a bevy of maids and footmen and butlers, and I don't know if the butlers actually travel, I suppose they do. But certainly a whole clatter of maids and footmen, and indeed in the early days of the Great Western, their own carriage and horses as well. Okay, so let's have a look at that. That looks to be okay. So now what I need to do is refine the, I'll go into wireframe, and I've got to refine this, where are we, refine, and put in some extra vertices wherever the door is. As I say, I'm sure there's probably a quicker and easier way of doing this, but this is my method and it works for me. Maybe a bit sort of ponderous, but nevertheless the results I think speak for themselves. I think it's an effective method. Okay, so now we're going to take out the segments. And I'm sure you're already beginning to see the Compo first third. So these are third class compartments there. There's the third class lavatory. There's a first class lavatory in there. Then first class 1 and 2 compartments, and then another lavatory there, and the door goes there. And then this is the smoking salon. Okay, so on that aside, let's get in and get these lined up. Let's go right in, zooming right in to get these absolutely precise, possibly can, as precise as you can. Otherwise you get all sorts of odd effects with the texture, as you pick up a sort of like a riffle in the mesh, or a slight curve, or a slight angle I should say, not a curve, because it's only two. It's the position between this vertex, I'll go over a bit, and the one up there, up here. Okay. I'm going to do something slightly different because it's the two sides of the carriage are not identical. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to make a clone of this as it is at the moment, without it being all joined up, in order to make the other side. So this is the side with the door, and the other side there is to be the side without the door. This is the side rather without the door. And the other side has the door. So on this side doesn't have the door. I know it seems daft, but I'm going to actually make it so that it looks like, or I'm going to leave it at this point to make it as if it does have the door, but then the other side anyway, you see what I mean. Okay, so there we are. So now before connecting everything up on that mesh, what I want to do is pick up the whole mesh, everything that's there, and I'm going to clone it, move it over. Okay, let me just have a look, make sure I'm working it the right way. Okay, so this one here, this nearest one, is going to have just the window, not the door, and the other one here, let's just get this in the right position, yeah, and this one here is going to have the door, so that's that. So let's go turn that to back, because then it agrees with this one here. Yeah, so that's going to be that, that's going to be that side, that's going to be that side, so that's over here, So this actually needs to go, I don't want that. This actually needs to go over here. Okay, and these two, I'm going to rotate 180 degrees, not that way, 180 degrees, and also I'm going to push it over to the, I can push it that way, but I really want to push it that way, over there, and it can stay like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide, make sure I've got the right one, I'm going to hide that and just work on this. And this is the side where I'm just going to have that window, so I'm actually going to take that out. I know it seems silly because I've already broken this, but I'm just going to move those two vertices together and they should weld. I should offer to weld it, yep. There we are, and in fact I'm going to, having welded it, I'm going to delete the point. Okay. So that gives me this side of the smoking salon. In other words, it's this bit here. That's the side, that's this side here. And so I can leave the vertices, I can just into the main mesh. And now what I want to do is to attach. That's the doors attached, door frames, and then the windows. You see them changing colour as they become part of that mesh, and they're all part now of an editable spline. And I need to weld the vertices at these corners. If I didn't, and I tried to extrude it, well, it wouldn't be a it wouldn't work. I'm trying to think of the words that I could use to explain why it wouldn't, but it wouldn't. Okay, so because they're all going to be further apart than the they're close, I'm going to reduce this. Weld 0.1, so only those that are 0.1 or closer together. Okay, and that should give us now a single start finish square on each part of it. And now if I go to extrude, there we are, we've got a solid extrusion. If I make that 2 inches thick, and I'm going to automatically make a copy, stick it up there, out of the way, just to have it. Right, now, where are we doing? So my next stage is to bring in these cleverly named bottom bits, the tumble home. So let's move a copy over there, and move this one in here. Let's get right in and look. And get the position. You can see actually it looks like we're overlapping, but when you zoom right in, you can see we are on that line there. Okay, and I'm just going to adjust these now to the curve. It's a bit of an odd one. There's a slight kink there. I did trace it very, very, very carefully from one of the diagrams, but as always with printed diagrams, you don't always get it precise, especially some of these older books. It's quite fuzzy when you zoom in onto the scan or even onto the print. It's just the nature of the printing. There we are. Anyway, that gives us the first one, and now the second one is pretty straightforward. And what I'm going to do is just clone these. Only the cloning. Only the cloning. There we are. And let's just get these positioned. Just using the mouse wheel to zoom in and out there. It's not clear. And surely by now, if you've been watching these for any length of time, you must have an idea of all the movements, the mouse movements, which are absolutely. Can't imagine doing this without the mouse. I did try a bit of this on a tablet using my finger. Oh, it was horrendous. It just makes a complete mess. I'm not sure about one of those drawing pads. I've never tried one, so I just don't know what the effect might be of those. But I suppose it's what you used to. And I think it was Xerox came up with the very first computer mouse. Certainly came up with a lot of good ideas. I think they were the first to have that mouse and cursor interface on a screen. There you go, that's the... And, oh, we're going to be one short. So, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm actually adding in the lower part of the carriage side. This is the piece that curves in underneath, or the tumble home, as I know it. That's what I call it, whether I'm right. I think I'm right. Anyway, so that gets us into place there. And let's just do the last bit. Now, I know this looks tedious, and it can be a bit, but you know, it's worth all the effort. Just make sure to get it right. And of course, for this end, we need to curve in again. So I'm going to pick up this one and zoom it along. There we go. Zoom and rotate. Y-axis 180. Yep. And bring it in. That's where it's got to line up. Okay, and then we can adjust this one. Using sort of temporary boxes and planes and that sort of thing as guides, I found is a very useful thing to do in Gmax, because you know what you want to do. You can carry across measurements in that way. You can center. If you want to get a center between 2 points, I draw a box that is exactly the length of those 2 points, and then I tell it to make it into 2 segments. That gives me the center. I'm faffing about measuring it and the rest of it. Okay, so there we are. So let's have a quick look now. Side on. That's our guide. So that's all of those. So let's move them over. Bring them in underneath. Some big there we are, that's the side mesh partly done for the beginning of E38. And that's the end of this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a question, I'll happily answer anything. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel.